Alright, so a couple of my friends have said that they really want to see me do a video. So here I am, doing a video. Um, so yeah, we'll get right into it. My setup isn't the greatest. Every time I touch something on my table, it wobbles, so that's great. But we'll just get started with the limited stuff I have and what we're doing. I apologize well in advance if I traumatize anyone with the way that I do things. But it works for me, so that's the important part. Let's get started. We'll say goodbye to the glasses, since we don't need them. So I usually just do my eyes. On occasion, I'll do like a lipstick or something like that, but generally it's just my eyes. Usually don't do my brows or anything like that, so I'm a little bit boring in that aspect, but I'm kind of a hairy mofo, so, take that as you will. But I like to start, my favorite primer is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and is this how people do it, with the holding the hand over the thing? No, see, not close enough. But in any case, it's the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Just in the original color, nothing too fancy, but I just kind of put that all over everywhere, under my eyes, and all across the lid. The way that I rub this in apparently triggers some people, but that's fine. Because I know that that can increase wrinkles if you're a little too rough with your eyes, but I really don't care. So. Alright, so now I have to decide what color I want to do. I haven't even thought about that yet. So I currently own two palettes. The first one is the Zulu by Juvia's Place. It has some beautiful colors in it. If I can get it to open and stay open. Enough to show y'all. The colors aren't quite true on this. This one is a lot less blue than it looks. It's a little more kind of pinkish red, purple. These two, this green and this aqua, as well as this pink, are shimmers, and the rest are mattes. The other palette I have is actually one of those cheapy ones, right? But they're pretty well pigmented. They're just small shadows. So this is the Color Studio by Beauty Glazed. So it has quite a few colors in it. Again, it's not really true to color, so you can't quite see how bright these are. And some of them are shimmers as well. But yeah, I love this just because it gives me a lot of variety in color, and then I can kind of pick and choose from there. Picking a color. I don't normally do a lot of like nature colors, so green and brown. Let's do that. So I'm going to start off with this lighter green color down here in the corner. This color. And I'll just kind of put that on my lid. The brush I like to use to kind of pat it onto my eyelid is this little brush here. Not that you can see it very well, because it doesn't want to focus. My webcam is not the best. It is just a rounded, kind of flat brush. So it's not like a really big fluffy brush, but it's a good one that you can kind of pat color on with. So we'll start off with that. Load up that brush. And this isn't giving me a very good idea of what it looks like on the camera, so I'm going to supplement it with this little mirror here. Don't quite have this set up for filming. And my preference is to kind of layer and build up color as opposed to something that's going to go on super dark right away. So I tend to go for light coats and kind of build it from there as opposed to going for one heavy, thick coat. That's right about where I want it. So we'll get started on the other eye. Switch back over to this. Looks even enough to get us started anyway. I'll put one more, a little bit over here. Alright, so now my lids are green. And the next thing that I want to do is kind of get started working on the crease. So I definitely want to go a little bit darker there. And I want to do a bit of brown in the crease, but also I want to start off maybe with this darker green that is here. So that should complement. Can you get that to focus? No? No. Sorry, my webcam doesn't want to focus. But that should complement the lighter green pretty well. Just wiping my brush off real quick. And we'll get started with a little bit of this. So I'm just going to use the same brush again. Just kind of pack that into the crease a little bit there. Kind of around the edge here. Help if I hold the mirror the right way. So I'm just like kind of making a C shape with it. I'm not going past kind of the middle area, and then I'm going around and onto the side of my lid a little bit there. And since I'm building it up slowly, I'm kind of blending it as I apply it. It's hard to see in this, but you can see that it's a little bit darker around the edge than on this side. I'll keep building that up a little bit. Now, the other side. It's pretty even. So you'll notice that this top part is getting a little bit messy for me at the moment. Now it looks like this side's darker, but that's because it's in the shadow. I don't know if that helps, but I may put just a touch more over here. Yeah, it looks even on my end, I promise. So, do a little brown. Just wiping this brush off again just a little bit. And then, probably going to use, we'll look at this brown from the Zulu palette and see how we feel about that. That's how I do. I just pick stuff and see how I feel about it and make decisions from there. That is very brown. So, let's see. So that deepened it up a little bit, at least that I can see from my side. I'm not sure how well that comes across on the camera, but we do what we can, right? And I know this isn't a blending brush. I have one. I'll pull it out in a minute. That looks horrible in the camera. Not as horrible in real life. So hopefully we can get that straightened out. Or sorted. We don't want to straighten things out. I am not loving this, to be honest. Alright, let's try this blending brush. See what we can get. Can we transform it? We'll find out. It's looking really muddy, mossy, which I guess is fine. So we're just blending, blending, blending. If we blend it enough, you won't even know. So I think this side is not quite the same as this side. Let's see. It looks a lot more even in real life, I promise. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get some more green on the lid. Just to kind of even this back out some, right? Because as we blended, it blurred that line. So, back to the same color. So I throw it. The same color here that's on the lid, and this back to this brush. I hope I don't make horribly awful faces as I'm doing this. I realize that I'm holding my face in an interesting way, probably. You know, that makeup face people make. Alright. So I want to add some shimmer to this, kind of like right here in the middle. So I'm going to use this shimmery green right here in the middle from the Zulu palette. And this same brush again. Wipe it off a little bit. Just want to create some kind of dimension there with the eyeshadow. And so I'm blending that out a little bit as I put it on. I don't know how visible that even is, but I'll definitely take some pictures and add them. But just to give y'all an idea of what that looks like. So the next thing I want to do is a lighter kind of like highlight shade up here, which I can blend this into to make that line a little bit better. And I know sometimes people will put that on kind of before they start putting the crease shade on. That would probably be the smartest thing to do, to be honest with you, but you know, I don't always do things in the right order, so we'll blend it from there. It'll be fine. So, the shades I like for the highlights are going to be like a shimmer shade to kind of bring the highlight there. I have a few. So there is this shade right here next to the white. This has a little bit of shimmer to it. Sometimes I like to mix it with the white to kind of lighten it up a little bit. There's also this kind of pale gold up here. And there is the pink here in the Zulu palette. And because it's so close to my skin tone, it's not going to stand out quite as much. So it looks darkish, but it's not that dark. So maybe I'll use this pink, maybe mix with a little white to lighten it and brighten it up a little bit. So we'll do that and see. We'll see what it looks like. So we'll do this on the other side. And I have a cat on my lap, so that is also not helpful. She's taking a bath right now, so if the camera starts shaking, that's why. so that's a lot more blended. I hate that my camera just doesn't pick it up right, but I'm not prepared for vlogging, so, you know, you do what you can with what you got. So the next thing that I want to do is maybe a yellow kind of here in the inner crease, just to kind of add a little bit of a pop of color. So I do have this little brush that is very similar to the bigger brush that I use for the packing of color. It's just smaller. So this one is good for kind of adding some color in there. So I have two yellows. They're both very similar to each other. The yellow there on the Zulu palette, and then this yellow here. This one is probably more of a true yellow. This one has a little bit more, maybe an orangey tone to it. But it's more pigmented, so I'll go with the Zulu palette yellow. I'm going to use this. Well, it's not making much of a difference, y'all. Just keep adding and see if it does anything. Not really that different, but I'll do it on the other side, just for balance. Yeah, it didn't really do anything. Oh well. We will just kind of skip that then. And then we'll work on the underneath. Now, I typically get quite a bit of fallout. You can't really see it, but there's definitely some green all up under here. So I usually just take a big fluffy brush. It's got eyeliner on it, because I keep all my brushes just kind of propped up together, including my eyeliner brush. So try to brush as much of this off as possible. And then any remaining I usually just take off with a Q-tip or something like that, just to kind of clean that up a little bit. And I know that there are better methods and ways of doing this, but whatever. This works for me. So, and then I normally put a little bit more primer on after I've done that, because I've probably wiped quite a bit of it off. And I want to make sure that my eyeshadow underneath stays put. Primer has saved my life, y'all. Before primer, I had that, you know how you get that creasing with the eyeshadows. It would happen within minutes, and it wouldn't last all day. It would just fade and look just hideous. But primer is amazing. So, let's do the under eye. I got something in my eye, so that's fun. Yeah. So again, with the same green shade here, we're just gonna get a little bit on this brush, and then just kind of put it under the eye here. And the same on the other side. I don't know why I'm struggling with this side in the mirror, but I just can't see as clearly on the one side. So to brighten it up a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of white here. And I wish my white was a little bit brighter. It's not as drastic or as visible as it could be. But it functions. So that is pretty much the basic. So let me take one more look at that. I might put a little bit more of that shimmer, just because I really like it. So we'll use the smaller brush this time. So that'll help us kind of concentrate where we want it. That's better. Okay. So I just wanted a little bit more of that because it's pretty. I like it. So yeah, the last thing that I normally do, well, not last thing. I have two more things. I have eyeliner. So this is the ELF cream liner in just black. So and mascara. So my mascara is I Heart Extreme Waterproof by the brand Essence. To be honest with you, I just bought it because it was waterproof and cruelty-free. So those were the two things that I was looking at as I was buying that. But it's pretty good. It's a little bit clumpier than I'd like, but it's still good. So my eyeliner brush, just a regular angled, there we go, kind of brush. Obviously I haven't cleaned it anytime recently, so I'll just wipe that off a little bit. But it's a pretty stiff brush in general, which is nice. So it works pretty well. So we'll just open this up. And the way that I do it is I just kind of can't really get that to show up, but I just kind of dab my brush in there. I'm not exactly very exact about it. Just kind of get some product on, wipe it off on the edges, and then go for it. I'm going to see if I can do this because I normally do this really close to a mirror so I can see what I'm doing. Also, I'm that kind of person that pulls my lid out before I line it. So yeah, don't judge me for it. It makes it easier for me to get solid line. Um, I don't think this is going to work. So I may have to, let's see if I can get close enough. Nope, I definitely need to go find a mirror. Otherwise, this is just going to look real rough. So I'm going to do that real quick and come back. So let me just move my cat. And I will be right back. Well, let me see if I can... No, I don't think that I can bring this with me. Maybe we can. Let's do this. You're going to come with me to the mirror. So, one of the best things about my apartment is that I have a mirror closet, and I can just come over here. So, and then just kind of see in the mirror, which is helpful for that. So let's see how close we can get. So this is going to be a thick eyeliner today, just because I did mess up a little bit as I was trying to do it earlier, so it'll just be a heavy line, and that's fine. Figure out this line. It's not that great. Oof. It's not looking good, y'all. It's not. That's real thick. Let's see if we can fix this. So I just rubbed most of it off. So we're just gonna put a little primer on it. So it's pretty much bare lid at this point. Gotta put some more. Get my eyeshadow. This is real life, y'all. This is what happens. just going to use this little brush. My cats are concerned because I'm talking to myself. Alright, so let's try this again. Put these back here. And this is what I get for trying to do this on a camera, as opposed to in front of a mirror, but I know better now, so this is a learning experience for everybody. So. That's a lot better. Alright, now to try to get the other side even, which is always a trick. So, I actually go the opposite way when I'm drawing because I'm left-handed. So this side is easy to go in to out, but this side, not as easy. I suppose I could, it's just easier for me to go from outside in. It's not bad. Alright. So, waterline. I find myself more and more using the gel on the waterline. The biggest problem with it is that if I go past a certain point, then it gets on my eyeball, and I gotta clean that up. So that's fun. That said, I'm gonna do it, so, you know, we'll go with that. And the only reason I really like the gel is because it sticks around a lot longer than like a pencil. I have a pencil, but the gel is just like staying power. Alright, so that's it for that. And then the final step is mascara. And then sometimes I'll do glitter. That mascara is usually that kind of last step for me. Now this mascara, I really like it. Like I said, it's a little bit clumpier than I would prefer, but it does an okay job. So better than most of the mascaras I've tried. So. And I try to get it down all the way to the base as much as I can. But I'm definitely a link apply mascara person. So I blink into it, I guess. And then I tend to prefer like a good 2 or 3 coats depending on how I'm feeling. And I'm feeling 3 coats today, so we'll do a third. Sometimes I'll do the bottom lashes, so I'll just go ahead and do that. When I do, my bottom lashes are pretty long, so what I generally do is just kind of get at the top, and then this is weird, and then I kind of like pull it off of the very bottoms of it so that it doesn't look a little too spidery, I guess. Okay. So, that is it, yeah. I will put some photos, just because the camera isn't really getting the colors quite the way that I'd want it to. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just not as good as I'd like to say it is, but at least you get an idea for kind of what my process is, which is really just a lot of, oh no, what color do I want to use? How do I fix this? What are some options? This isn't even, hopefully it comes out okay. Good thing I wear glasses so that it covers up a lot of it. But that's kind of really what the process is. Um, I probably need a much better camera if I'm going to be posting like real tutorials and stuff like that. Just because this one just isn't the best as far as like color and quality. But it at least gives you a general idea of kind of what's going on. And sorry I keep looking down. Obviously I'm looking at the display and not at the camera. I'm bad at that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Eyes done. Sometimes I'll put, like I said, glitter on, and I got this really cool biodegradable glitter from the Nice Fairy. That's like a nice silver, and I'll just kind of tap it on my lid because it's a loose glitter, and that can be a nice kind of finishing touch. And then other times as well, I will put black eyeshadow over the liner, but I haven't noticed any problems with staying power. I think really it just can kind of mattify it a little bit because it does have a bit of a, not really a gloss, but kind of more of a, almost like a light sheen to it. So mattifying it if I feel like it, but generally I don't. So yeah, anyway, that's it. Thanks. Bye.